Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to talk about Orbit's assets section. So Orbit defines an asset as something you need to keep track of. Typically these days assets, so for example insurance, subscriptions, taxes, all have emails associated with them, and other things like subscription amounts, renewal dates, etc. So I'm going to start off by coming down to the assets section. I'm going to create a couple of initial assets. So start with my house. This is going to be a property and it's a house. I'll also add my details. Oops. My details, and the asset type is going to be personal information. Okay, so I'm going to be a bit careful here because it's sorted them for me. So I've got details and a house. So if I add some services to my house, I'm going to track my house insurance, I'm going to track my council tax, I'm going to track television license, and something a bit different, a streaming service as well. And for my details, I'm going to have pension payments, mobile phone, and something else, a passport. Okay, so let's start off with the house. No details for the individual services so far, so if we start by editing the insurance, date on which the service renews, well let's make it sometime fairly soon, let's say 1st of March. We're going to have every year, and we're going to pay, I know, house insurance, £200 a year, and we source that via a direct telephone call. Now this is where it gets a bit interesting. Who provides the service? We don't actually have any emails from our insurance provider, so I'm going to say I'm going to pick me as a contact because I have some emails from me. So as soon as I do that, that has associated the insurance service with me as a contact, and it's automatically linked to my emails. So I save that away. So I can, for example, if these were emails from my insurance company, there might be reminders or special offers or whatever, and I can click on any one of these and it will go straight to the email concerned, a little bit off the bottom of the screen. So add council tax as well, I don't know. Council tax renewal, so say it's 1st of February. I think they do it for the first 10 months of the year and give you a month off. I have no idea what the premium is. Let's just say it's £300 during the first of the month. Now if I pick another, what contacts have I got? Let's use a Linux hostmaster just as a demo contact. It's picking up the emails from Linux hostmaster straight away. I'll just save that. Okay, so that's overdue, so it's automatically reordering this based on when contract renewals are due. Let's have a television license. I know April the 1st sounds like a good date for a television license. That's going to be every year. It's something stupid like £180 now. Provides a service, I don't know what the names have I gotten in here. Let's set it to DMARC, so it's picking up some DMARC emails. Okay, just so we've got a bit of a note to display in the preview section. Streaming services are a little bit different, in that all these services are table driven, and we can add different details depending on the service. So the basic details are the same. I'm going to leave it blank because this is a rolling, every month we make a payment. I don't know what it is now, call it $10.99, something like that. 2nd of every month. This is going to be, I think it's netflix.com maybe. We actually have Netflix as a contact, which might help, and we can actually recognise Netflix specifically and save that away. So we have two different types of service in here. We have annual renewals, we have rolling contracts which don't have annual renewal date, but do have a day of the month payment made. And these are ordered in terms of when they're due to come up. Now, if we go back to something we covered earlier, which is the sidebar, and have a look at renewals, this is showing us our annual renewals, so we can see so far the cost of running our house is £3,380 a year in terms of costs we know are going to appear, and we have one payment or one subscription that's overdue by 5 days. If we go into monthly, we've got a streaming service which we pay on the 2nd of every month, which is costing us £131 a year. So just to deal with this for a second, I can click any one of these and it will highlight the service concerned. Take that off. So that automatically renews, so I'm sure it will have renewed. I'll click on renew. It's defaulting to a year on, so I'll just set that back to the first and confirm. So what that's done is to reorder my list of annual services, so that's now up in a year. It's left the details the same because I haven't told it what's different. So it might be, so for example, this year it's gone up and it's now £310. Save that. So my annual amount is now increased to £3,600. So if I look back, what it's also done is added a tab here. So it's got a record of the previous year's service with the amount, and now it's got a record of the current year's service with the current amount. So it's keeping a history of all your renewals. So if you need to look back at where things were historically, then you're going to end up with a tab for every time you renew the service. And if you have different providers and different dates and so forth, then it will be different on each tab as you update it. So if, for example, we have this year we're going to change our provider, if we take that out and put in a different provider, we have a different set of emails to link to. Save that away. So go back to the previous year and that will link to the provider's emails or the previous provider's emails, and go back to the current year and that's linking to our current list of emails from our current provider. If I now go and do the same thing with my details, I can add some details from my pension. If we do that every month for £4 a month on the 5th, I'm just going to pick a random contact as my provider. Mobile phone, same kind of thing, every month, £6.50. 20th. Again, I'll pick myself as a provider, just so I've got some emails. Save that away. I'm not going to bother with a passport for now. So I've got a collection of services under my details, got another collection under my house. If I have a look at the sidebar and renewals, that's as it was, because those are typically the annual ones with a renewal date. These are the ones with no renewal date that are rolling contracts, so we've got an addition of pension payments and mobile phones. So we've got a total annual of £350 under monthly and a total of £3,480 on typically annual renewal contracts. Okay, just going back to look at the calendar, if I switch that into month view, you can see we've got the different services we've added, the council tax, the streaming account, the pension, etc., all showing, and you can see them again in week view if I switch to the first there. And if we have a look back at the sidebar, and I can have a look in here and I can click through onto the details of each asset and service through there, or on the calendar I can click on any of these and link back to the asset via the link button. So it's just a general way of keeping asset services linked to emails and renewal dates, and presenting it all in a way so you know what's coming and when it's coming, and what's going to be overdue is highlighted in orange when the date approaches and turns red once you've gone past it. So hopefully a way of not missing critical renewal dates like car insurance, etc. The asset section is table driven and very easy to extend. So if there are some things you'd like to track that are not on the list, then please feel free to add a suggestion on the issue tracker and we'll see what we can do.